You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. How many new clients do you need in order to reach your business revenue goals? That's a great question that we're going to talk about on this episode. Welcome to Public Health Entrepreneurs, the podcast for visionary leaders who are ready to transform public health and healthcare through innovation. I'm your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley, and as a public health entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in healthcare and in public health, I understand the unique challenges and opportunities that come with bridging multiple disciplines. If you are an interdisciplinary professional, high-functioning leader with expertise across different fields, then you're in the right place. On this episode, we're going to dive into answering the question, how many clients do you need to reach your business revenue goals? So it's a little bit of a trick question, but everything comes back to answering this question. And this is a coachable moment that stems from several recent conversations I've had with my coaching clients. And over the past, this has come up, but recently this has been really rising up. And it really surfaced with one particular client that prompted me or inspired me to record this episode. So I'm calling it a coachable moment for that reason. Because it surfaced in some of my recent coaching sessions with clients, I want to share it on this podcast episode because I think it could help many of you. So once again, how many clients do you need to reach your revenue goals? The answer to this question will dictate your marketing strategy. So often, we will do what we see other people doing, or we'll take some generic marketing advice and apply it to our businesses or our business model without really thinking it through. So, for example, if your answer is 1 to 3 clients, which is what a lot of consultants who you already have started your business, you have some clients, and maybe reaching another 1 or 2 clients, maybe 3 clients, you would hit your revenue goals. And that would probably be a massive undertaking to bring on that many new clients, especially if we're talking about a short period of time, maybe 3 to 6 months. For those of you getting started, sometimes you're looking for that first new client, thinking as a consultant, if you brought on your first client or maybe 2, that would really be a lot all at one time for your brand new business. And your marketing strategy to attract the 1 or 2 either first clients or next handful of clients is going to look very different than if you said you need 100 to 300 new clients to reach your revenue goal. So that comes in play for someone who, let's say you have a membership model, you're running a membership or a course, you have a course that you're selling and you need 100 to 300 enrollments to that course, especially if we're talking about a lower price point of a course, then you're going to need more clients to reach your revenue goals. If you have a book that you're selling, or if you have something that's a more of a lower priced product or service, you're going to need more clients to be able to reach your goal as opposed to a consulting offer that's a larger ticket item or a higher ticket course or mastermind type of an offer, you will need fewer clients. And that is everything. Knowing what your needs are is where you start when you think about before you even begin to map out a marketing strategy. Because if you need 100 to 300 new clients, then your traffic streams and the effort you're going to put in and where you're looking to attract, you're going to need to attract multiple times that number in order to actually get that 100 to 300 who will actually buy from you. So I think we all understand that concept. If you need 100 to 300 new clients, you're not just looking for 100, 300 new prospects. You're looking for hundreds of new prospects to get that 100 to 300 new clients, right? On the other hand, if you need 1 to 3 new client offers in your consulting business or your high ticket coaching or mastermind offer, then you are approaching this very differently. You don't really want to go to the hundreds of leads to get to that 1 or 2, to turn into a client. And you may be looking at high quality, maybe 25 or 30 to connect with and kind of get you to that next client. Okay. And hopefully you're all with me because a lot of you may be nodding and some of you may be thinking about this for the first time. But what happens, even though you may be clear on, yes, I need one or two new clients, I need my first new client or my next new client, you might be jumping to activities and actions and marketing strategies that are for the people who are trying to get that 100 to 300 clients. And that can be extremely overwhelming and frustrating and can have you spinning your wheels. So let me give you a real example. I have a client, and this is not picking on anyone, so don't misunderstand. This is just a real example to help you see how easily you can kind of get off track. We were working and talking about a strategy. Basically, I've shared with you on this podcast many times how I strongly believe in the power of being in community and connection. So in the conversations you're having as you're getting to know new people in the organization is where the opportunities start to really surface. Sometimes they're not published across social media. People aren't raising or waving a flag saying, we are looking for this. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're looking for you, but they're not advertising they're looking for you. So when you get in conversation and you share what you do, they're like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about the need for this. And then it starts to come together in a somewhat organic type of a way. But that's another thing about sales conversations, okay? Separate episode. Let's stick to the point here. So this client and I were talking, and she falls in the category of needing, one or two new clients. And every time we land on a strategy of how she was really looking to attend certain conferences, we talked about some particular networking strategies and how she would connect with certain number of people and continue the relationship beyond the conference, beyond the event. And so we were looking at, she had some success after attending, and she was giving me an update. She attended this event. She made several really strong connections that she was really excited about and really surprised. I'd say there were about 5 to 7 people that were she had some conversation with in that day and she wanted to follow up with. And I was like, this is exciting. So we started talking about her strategy for continuing to attend similar types of events across the next 5 to 6 months. Not every single month and not all the time, but because she had such great success, it was perfect for her to focus her attention on which ones of these types of, similar types of events could she attend, of course, across this period of time, and maybe compiling a list of what's happening across her area, and of those, how many would she, realistically like to attend. And based on her scheduling and everything, we just kind of agreed that somewhere around the once a month or once every other month would be an ideal kind of cadence for her to attend. So we're talking about 3 or so conferences across the next few months. All right. Somehow after we left the session, we were on the same page, really clear. She got into the habit of the way she had been doing things before. And she came back to our session she sent me emails and with all these spreadsheets. She had gone to AI to do a search of all these types of conferences, and she had spreadsheets that had 50 and 60 rows of names and lists of people and conferences and connections and possibilities. And we compiled them all together. There were probably, I would say, easily 8 or 10 tabs in the spreadsheet, and each tab had multiple, several dozen, sometimes a few hundred names and organizations enlisted. She got so overwhelmed going after every possibility. And some of these weren't even the niche that we had landed on for her to target. It was just everything and anything she was putting into this bucket. And she was exhausted and so overwhelmed. And as we began to talk about it, and I said, in just a short period of time, just kind of veered off just because we talk about the use of AI to help us with our strategies and our operations. There's all these tools available and it's wonderful, but you have to put it into context of what your goal is and what you're trying to accomplish. So in that short period of time, she got so overwhelmed with everything, but we just talked back through it and got her back, on focus of what she needed and really stripped away, really deleted. We put it all together, compile it, then we talked about it, and then we just started deleting it. And as we deleted what she didn't need, she felt lighter. We got it down to a spreadsheet that had maybe, oh goodness, maybe there were 7 or 8 high quality events that were possibilities within the next 5 to 6 months that she could attend. And they were, she said, this feels doable. Now, it wasn't that she was going to attend all of them. Actually, I think she ended up picking 3 out of those. And then she left them on the list just so that she was aware of what existed in case something, she wanted to pivot at the last minute. But of these 3 that she decided on across the 6 months, she then began to just focus on like the next one. And they're very similar. So how she approaches one is how she would approach all 3. And she looked for overlap. And then we started to work on a strategy that was really customized and niche and focused on her marketing efforts around these events. And I say marketing because she's looking to have a booth at these events, not just going there to network and meet people, but to have a booth, to also meet people and connect. And so that's what I meant by marketing, like what she needed for that, what she was going to do. And she just basically, really saw it was a very teachable moment, a coachable moment, because we all do this, myself included. We start out with clarity. And then sometimes it's like shiny, bright object syndrome. Something will come up, or you hear something new and it sounds exciting. You grab it and try it. Or you see something that someone else is doing, you think, oh, that's a great idea because it works for them. Let me try that. But everything for your business is you need to think about the strategy that's unique to helping you reach your goals. So I go back to the very first question I asked you. How many clients do you need in order to reach your business goals? And your answer will dictate what your marketing strategy should look like. And it's going to be very unique to your business and very different from what my business is like or any of my coaching clients. Everyone is different. Even if your goal is very similar, there's still going to be nuanced differences, but the strategies are really going to have, like you're going to be similar strategies if you're looking for that 1 to 3 clients, and then similar strategies if you're in that 100 to 300 range. But you can't mix those 2 different pots. Okay. So my takeaway for you, hopefully, is like, oh, that makes sense. And maybe this has helped some of you. And some of you, maybe it's just a refresher or a reminder. But if you get really clear about how many clients you need to hit your revenue goals, that means your offer's clear, assuming a lot of other things are in place here, then you'll be able to create your marketing strategy that aligns with your goal, right? That is my teachable moment or coachable moment for you on this episode. Now, if you need more support or guidance to help you with, implementing or customizing strategies, then I invite you to explore opportunities to work together, either one-on-one or in our mastermind group program. As someone who understands the unique challenges of being an interdisciplinary leader, I can help you customize your strategies and make your strategic next steps. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more. Links are also provided in the show notes. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.